Well, it's time to bring it on with your email questions. Pat, this first one is from Teresa, who says, I love when you pray specifically for us. My question is, I've been told that I need to completely turn over my prayer need, which is healing for a friend's baby, to God and give it all to him. Does that mean that I stop praying for it? If I keep praying for it, then have I really turned it over to him?
I think you have misunderstood what somebody told you. You leave the results in God's hands. I mean, you can't heal that baby. So you've got to trust God for that. And so you trust him for what he can do. But that doesn't mean you stop asking.
Right.
You keep on asking. And the Bible says, keep on seeking, keep on knocking. But sooner or later, God will say something. He'll say, well, here's the answer, or no, I'm not going to do it. And so you have to be responsive to that. But other than that, the Bible says it's what is called importune prayer. Importune, you keep on knocking, you just beg, God, I'm ready, I want it now. And that's what Jesus told us how to pray. All right?
This is Karen, who says, our parents have been Christian ministers most of their lives, and the family has a plethora of talent and intellectually gifted people. However, our parents are well into their 70s now and still struggling financially. I am a music teacher and a Christian fiction writer, yet nothing seems to be working out for us in order for us to live free from the financial stress that's taking a toll on us all. Are we living under a curse?
No, it's no curse. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You just don't understand finance. And it's obvious your parents didn't understand finance. They weren't into finance. They didn't understand how it worked. But one of the things that's so important, and I remember Andrew Carnegie was so impressed when he finally got his first dividend from money he had invested. And, you know, instead of you working for money, you let money work for you. And that means you begin to take a regular program. You need to have a budget. I imagine your parents never had a budget. They spent whatever came in, and they didn't save a little bit. And what you start doing is little by little by little building up money that is working for you. And when you begin to do that, you start, all kinds of doors begin to open for you. But it's not a curse, it's a lack of knowledge.
I agree. You have that knowledge. I sit close to him. I'm hoping it rubs off.
I've made plenty of mistakes, darling.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you.
Well, that's part of the process, though, isn't it? In life, I mean, in general.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm kind of a gambler at heart, but go ahead.
Okay, this is Katie, who says, I lack structure and discipline in my life, and at 23, I want it so much, so to have success in college and with God. How do I fall in love with God? How do I court him? My heart is broken in a million little pieces because of my choices and others' choices for me. How do I let God in to heal me when it scares me to trust him?
You are so emotional and magnify things so much. My heart is broken into a million pieces. Come on.
Yeah, well, she might have made some big mistakes in her life. Even at 23, you know, there are a lot of things confronting kids today.
But look, here, first of all, you sit down and you say, listen, I'm 23, and I'm going to live to 75.
My whole life is before me.
That leaves 50-some years left to go. So you've got twice as much life ahead as you've spent so far. That's number one. The next thing you need to do is to start working at something. Ask yourself, what makes me happy? What was it I did as a kid that really made me happy? What did I enjoy doing? What was it? Was it drawing pictures or talking to people or performing in front of people or reading books? Or what was it that made me happy? Then begin to focus on that and set up discipline in relation to that and work at that at which you are good. Don't be out looking for this, that, and the other. How do I find God? Just, you see, God made you the way you are. And if you will just accept what he's done for you and begin to cultivate the talents he's given you, you have something inside of you that needs to be cultivated. You may have a singing voice. You may have ability to paint. You may, you may be able to instruct others. I mean, you may like to teach little kids. I don't know what you like to do, but you do. So figure that out and stop all this million pieces and all this stuff.
You know,
focus.
She says an interesting thing in here. I'd never heard anybody say this before. She says, how do I court him. We don't have to court God, do we?
Well, that's
What does that mean?
That's a
I mean,
way
I know
of-
what courting is. I've just never heard anyone say that.
She thinks in flowery terms and uses these overblown expressions, and maybe she ought to be a fiction writer.
There you go,
But
Katie.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's
Receive
something out of a
God's love.
romance novel, and that's good. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So maybe you ought to write short stories, but do what it is and get onto it. You know, concentrate on it
Commit
and get
yourself to it.
and get disciplined. Okay.
Okay, this is Kaylin who says, when God makes the new earth, will there be marriage on it?
Not according to Jesus. He said we'll be like the angels. We'll neither marry nor are given in marriage. That's what he said. Okay.